You guys went to the France-Senegal game yesterday at MetLife. How was it?
It was awesome. Game was great. Food was great. No traffic.
There's no traffic?
Not anything. No. I was so we left here right after the show. It was around noon. We left a couple minutes after. We thought, oh, man, we got to get there for kickoff. Claudia, 90 minutes before the game, Marcelo and I were eating steak, asparagus. We had it all in the box.
What Tony's not telling you is that also after the game, they stayed behind for a little bit, then had desserts.
That's correct. You didn't ask about after the game. He asked me about traffic. So, but we did have desserts after the game.
They took full advantage of the VIP treatment that they got. All right, we will get to that game in a little bit, but first let's go around the grounds to see everything that we'll have in store for you for this Wednesday edition of Morning Footy 48 Nations. Starting off with, really yesterday was one of the best group stage match days that we'll see. Lionel Messi scored his first ever World Cup hat-trick against Algeria, which helped him tie the record for most goals scored in the World Cup. Kylian Mbappe got in on the scoring action as well, back in a brace against Senegal. He's 2 goals away from also tying the record. Erling Haaland, he wasted no time in his World Cup debut, putting 2 goals back on Iraq. And today is the day that we finally see Cristiano Ronaldo make his 6th World Cup appearance. Portugal is in action today against DR Congo. Now, while Ronaldo looks to add more goals to his World Cup resume, Messi, as I just mentioned, has just tied Miroslav Klose for most goals scored in the World Cup with 16. As you can see, Kylian Mbappe not too far with 14 goals. And after the game, Messi was asked about his magical night making history, but of course, he downplayed it. Let's take a listen.
No, la verdad que no, la verdad que es un honor obviamente estar ahí por lo que significa estar al lado de Klose, lo que está Ronaldo también ahí, pero creo que no significa nada, ¿no? Mbappé también que hizo hoy 2, al final es estadística y nada más, si bien es un orgullo poder competir con todo ello, no significa nada para mí. Ronaldo, de lo que yo vi, fue uno de los más grandes y no está primero. O sea que queda solo en una estadística.
Well, what are the papers saying? Ole says, no te canses nunca, translating to you never tire, and having a play on words with Kansas and Kansas since the match was played out in Kansas. Now, Lahu, there are so many things that can be said about Messi's performance last night, but I'm going to give you the task of summarizing it in just one word.
Oh, I mean, where do we go? Mind-blowing, legendary,
she said one word.
Iconic. Those are all one words.
Guessing trivia.
I mean, we could do Messi trivia. I'm going to go mind-blowing because at 38 years old, we know what Messi can do. There's concern about the hamstring. The hamstring's okay. Fellas, we can agree with that. But my mind was blown at just the ease at which he was able to get the hat trick. He did whatever he wanted. And you see him. How many players do you know in world football at 38, he's about to turn 39 in a week from today, that just score a hat trick, and you see him in the presser, and it's just another day at the office for Messi. It's ridiculous. I think we're running out of words for him.
Unsurprisingly brilliant on the night in the game, all one word. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything that hasn't been said about Messi? I know everyone wants to rank everything, right? I get it. I understand why we do it. I understand why people want to, is this guy better than this guy? I told you that we were on a show a year ago, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy Lionel Messi for however long he's here in the States playing in MLS, however long he's playing through this World Cup. Let's just enjoy the brilliance. Like the guy is so special. He's been so special to our game. I don't think anyone thought he was going to sit this World Cup out, although there was conversations about this even from him. But my gosh, man, the guy just never ceases to amaze.
He truly doesn't. Now, of course, when Argentina won the last World Cup, I felt like that really ended the debate of who's the best player in the world, Messi. But of course, since then, Marcelo, he has joined MLS, and people downplay the level of play in MLS. So I feel like maybe he's gotten away from, is he the best player in the world? Well, he is just 1 week shy, as we mentioned, of 39. Would you say that he is still the best player in the world? I'm sorry, I had to come to you.
Being Argentinian.
Yeah. Let me just say, you know what a pleasure it's been to watch Ronaldo and Messi go at it back and forth. People want to criticize him because he plays in MLS. It's not the level of the EPL or the Bundesliga or La Liga, whatever you want to go with. He walks on the stage, being out from a hamstring, and he showed the rest of the world that it doesn't matter where you play. It's Messi. He comes out, he finds the spaces. He demands respect from other teams. They watch him, they try to mark him. He still finds ways to get in between the spaces and score goals. Clinical when he's finishing. When you've got a team that is supporting you the way they do, he doesn't run as much as he used to, but they all defend for him. He is the best player in the world. Ronaldo is the best player in the world. And it's been a pleasure. And like Tony said, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy it. If we get one more year out of it, and MLS, we get 2 more years, I'm going to sit back and enjoy it because this will never happen again. 2 players like this in the world of football, going at it back and forth. We're in heaven. We got to enjoy it.
We'll take it as long as we can.
Yeah.
So you guys in the comments, let us know if you think that Lionel Messi is still currently the best player in the world. But let's take a look at SofaScore and the ratings that they've given players over the years. Messi has had 55 perfect 10 performances. You look at the next 2 under them, Mbappe 19. Who do we have at 18? Neymar, duh. Neymar at 18, who we don't see on here. Cristiano Ronaldo has 13. So, I mean, it speaks for itself, Lahoud.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be as kind as you guys are. I think there's no debate for me. Lionel Messi can check one thing. It's his pocket, which has a World Cup in it, as well as Champions League trophies that Ronaldo does have. But when it comes to just doing what he's doing, Lionel Messi's a freak of nature. Yeah. Some of the dropping of the shoulder, some of the passes, some of the vision. There was a moment, I think it was in the second half, where maybe in the 60-something minute, 65th minute, where Enzo Fernandez is made a run into the box. He's already made the run 5 seconds before. Messi touches the ball, has his head up, he hits it. Fernandez still has time to kind of calculate his run, for lack of a better term, and the ball lands right at his feet in front of goal.
You don't have to calculate anything.
Absolutely. So for me, just you look at the players at this World Cup, and there's some great players. Kylian Mbappe, great player. Michael Olise, which
Great
we'll get into.
Finisher. I don't know about great player.
Yeah, this is interesting you say this. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe, great player. Michael Olise, great player. Harry Kane, great player. There's all those players, and then there's Messi. I think he's a level above everyone right now.
And the difference between, I've been thinking about this a lot, right, as we head into the World Cup. The difference between, like, we're going to talk about Haaland we'll talk about him today, but at some point with regards to those World Cup numbers, Haaland, if they keep playing in World Cups, is going to be there, right? Mbappe, there's finishers. The thing about Messi, there's an elegance because he's always on the ball, right? Erling Haaland is never going to be a guy where you're looking at the entire game. We're always going to judge Erling Haaland by the numbers, right? How many goals does he score? And that's his job. Yep. But Messi, we have an eye test barometer all the time. Yep. Dribbling past players, 1-2s to unlock different plays in the game. Like, he's constantly in the mix of things. I get it. He doesn't run defensively. You know what? If I coached him, I wouldn't ask him to do anything defensively. Just get it done where you need to get it. But there's a difference between some of those types of players because he's constantly with the ball at his feet. So we're seeing him do so many different dynamic things, which separates him from so many different players.
I have a quick question about something that happened in the match yesterday. A moment where Messi got a little bit of a tackle on the opposing player, didn't get a red card, didn't even get a yellow card in that game, and it would have completely changed everything we're talking about now, Marcelo. Let me cut you out of the conversation.
No, listen. I think that if that's a defender, then more than likely it's a yellow or a red card. There's no doubt about it. You give Messi a red card, you're the referee that gives him the red card in this game. I think that, one, you'll get beat up on social media. They're going to look at you picking on Messi. Does he get treated differently? 100%. Just like Ronaldo, just like Mbappe, just like Zidane did in the old days. You want to keep going. So there's a little bit more of a lenient, we'll say, rule for Messi, I feel. And it's because we want to see guys like that on the field. So I think was it on purpose? That's the question. Was it malicious? That's the intention of the referees. They've got to make that decision. You know what I mean? I have a hard time believing that you were going to give him a red card for that.
One thing also people were saying is that the ref was consistent with his calls, which is maybe why he didn't end up calling that. That could have been a red card or a yellow card, but what do you make of it? Did you see a type of foul that should have led to a card for Messi?
Yeah, I want to flip this the other way. If that is a player on the other team that does that to Messi, he's getting sent off. If that's any other player at the World Cup that does that to Messi, they're getting sent off. So I think what you said is there is special treatment because you want your best product at the World Cup. And in your opening match, if you send off Messi, and it's not a perfect thing, VAR is not perfect.
Montes in Mexico got a red card for less than that.
Yeah.
So I think there's different
And
rules.
if that was Cuti Romero coming in, who's got a
yeah.
reputation for being, a hard tackler and getting
even
thrown.
Enzo.
Yeah, Enzo, and, Otamendi over the years. Like, if it's one of those guys, I think it's a red card. I think there's no doubt they kind of turned a blind eye to that one a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we also saw Cristiano Ronaldo get a little bit more, shall we say, special treatment because he got a red card, in a previous
Ireland.
game where he should have not been in today's match, and they kind of wiped it away.
I think Gianni Infantino is going to make it up as he goes because it's more about the entertainment value of this World Cup. I think that's what FIFA is so committed to. And look, we're entertained today. We're talking about one of the most entertaining performances.
I think we were talking about it. The referee have been consistent.
Yeah.
And I like it. When there's a shoulder drop, he dropped it, the guy went flying. He didn't call a foul. He let them play.
He was consistent. France game, you're talking. Oh,
the France game. And even in Argentina, they're allowing players to be a little bit more physical, and they're not giving a yellow card so quick. They're not calling that foul. They're like, shoulder to shoulder. If he goes flying, I'll go flying to being Tony. Trust me. Look at the size of him. Is that a foul? No. It says we went shoulder to shoulder. So I'm liking the fact that they're allowing the players to be a little bit more physical this World Cup. It's nice to see that. A little bit of the old school, we'll say, coming back of being able to tackle and not get a red card.
Tony, looking at the overall result yesterday then for Argentina, do you think they made a statement coming out right from the jump in their title defense, or do you need to see more from them?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's Algeria. I think it's no disrespect to Algeria, but I think we expected this type of result, right? I don't know we expected Lionel Messi at 38 years old to turn the game on its head and score a hat trick, right? So it's more, I think it's more of a statement for me of Lionel Messi saying, okay, World Cup started for me, right? Instead of Argentina. And let's face it, right? They struggled last World Cup after losing to an opponent that maybe they shouldn't have lost to in Saudi Arabia, right? And then they had to come back, and Messi had to score. Was it Mexico? He scored a great goal against Mexico. So maybe they learned a lesson from last World Cup. But we got to get off on the right foot here, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, one of the players, I just want to jump in really quickly. I think one of the big storylines with this team and a lot of doubt, and Cello, you can back me up on this or disagree if you want, but I was really impressed with Rodrigo de Paul. His performance, he was all action, and he looked transformative. And we see it on the international stage where certain players, what they don't do for Inter Miami or what they haven't done so far this season, they become beasts when they step up for their national team. And you look at the assist he had on the first goal, break lines with pass, but it's more on the third goal that Messi scores for the hat trick, where he starts the play, bombing up and down the field. And that's the Rodrigo de Paul I think you need more for Argentina if they're going to win. Yeah,
well, we asked all of you on YouTube if you think that Messi is the best player in the world. So here's a look at the results from all of you guys that are in the chat. I have a feeling it'll say yes. What are the statistics here? 68%. 68%. At first, we did have 70, 80%, but more people are saying no. So very interesting. But 68% still say yes, that Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. All right, well, we are going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy, 48 Nations, and much more coming up for you on the other side of this quick break.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
World Cup favorites France opened up their tournament at MetLife against African giants Senegal. And after a goalless first half, it was all France. Kylian Mbappe opened the scoring with a 66-minute goal before Bradley Barcola made it 2-0 just 2 minutes after entering the match. Senegal did make things interesting late in stoppage time with an Ibrahim Mbaye goal to make it 2-1, but Mbappe's late goal sealed the 3-1 victory for Les Bleus. France are now in the top 2 in the Group I table after their big win. It is setting us up, though, for the ultimate showdown on the last day of their group stage matches because Norway will face off against France, and Norway also got a win in their match yesterday, but we'll talk about that later. So let's take a look at what the papers are saying over in France. L'Equipe says, Captain America. What do we think about this?
I'm not quite sure how to read that headline. I guess Captain in America, whatever. He was good for about 30 minutes yesterday. In the first 60 minutes or so, he wasn't really involved in the match. But we saw it live, and I don't know what you see on TV. He was a little bit frustrated. He was open a few times, made some runs, threw his arms up in the air a couple times in frustration. I thought after the water break, or cooling break, or hydration break, or whatever we're calling it, in the first half, it changed a little bit. They got a little bit of rhythm after that. They changed things up in the middle of the field. I still think they need to get Dembele involved a little bit more, but they finally found Mbappe. And then the second goal, which would have been their third goal, his second goal, he put his head down, man, and he had one mission when he turned. And he had no intention of passing that ball to anybody on the field and just hammered one and beat the goalkeeper.
Earlier, when Lahoud was talking about greatest players, you said there's a difference between great players and great finishers. You were referring to Mbappe here?
Well, I was referring to Holland. I think you mentioned Mbappe.
Yeah, I was referring to there's great players that have the ball, the Maradonas, the Pelés, the Zidanes. You know what I mean? They're on the ball all the time. And then you've got great finishers who move well, who read the game well, and put the ball in the back of the net. And that's where I put the Hollands, the Ronaldos. That's where they fit into me. But for me yesterday, the biggest key is, listen, for 45 minutes, France was bad. They played bad. They didn't have any rhythm. They were upset. Dembele couldn't find the game. He was in the midfield. He was looking around. He was throwing his arms up. He was looking at the bench. And then finally they made a decision at halftime to switch. Olise went into the middle, and all of a sudden, he's finding the pockets. He's turning. He's running at the back line. Now Mbappe is making better runs because he's able to penetrate, and he's able to move out to the side. They're sliding balls in. And from that moment on, in the 45th minute from halftime, it was all France. And it was just a matter of time before they got the goals. But you can just see when this team, when they knock it around and they're slow, it's not them. They've got so many great players and so much pace. Barcola, oh my Lord, when he came in the field, Tony, I looked at Tony, I was like, where did this kid come from? I didn't realize he was that fast.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Would you say he's the fastest?
I'm sure it's him and Mbappe, but when you watch Barcola, he had like, I didn't realize he's how slight he is in his frame. His strides, man, they looked like they were 8 feet long. It was incredible. And he made the first run. He chased the ball out of bounds. And I thought, okay, you know when you go into games sometimes and you just want to open up your legs for the first time? And I'm like, he's never going to get that ball. And then it ended up going out by like 6 inches, right? And I'm like, holy cow, he actually got pretty close to this thing. And then the run he made down the left-hand side to open up the game, he put the first cross in, and we were sat there like, we know Mbappe's fast, right? We've seen him run before. I don't know that, I mean, we've seen Barcola, you know, in Champions League. We covered here. He's more often than not, we see him in tight spaces, not in open spaces like that. And he could fly, man.
Yeah, everything that we were able to see from France, and what you guys are saying about Mbappe becoming now France's all-time leading goal scorer with that yesterday, despite maybe not us seeing everything that we want from Mbappe yesterday, he still was able to achieve that. So I want to know if, because of course Champions League title is one thing that he's really after, if France are able to get to the final and win the World Cup though this year, but Mbappe doesn't ever win Champions League, does that change anything in the conversation for you when you think about his legacy and how he cements himself as one of the greatest players?
Yeah, look, I think the on paper thing, you look at the greatest players that typically win World Cups, you associate the Champions League with it at the club level. I can think of one player that never got to taste the Champions League, and that's the original Ronaldo, R9, or Fenomeno. And we don't sit here saying, but he didn't win the Champions League. Look, Kylian Mbappe is one of the greatest talents we have in the game. In my opinion, he is the most talented player that France has seen in a long, long time, probably since Zinedine Zidane. He's been that good. He's been that prolific. Now, for me, with Mbappe, I think this can be his World Cup to truly own. And if France are going to get to a final, he will have to be the deciding factor. He will have to be the finishing touch on a stacked team, and he's in really good company there. And all those players that you see, Gerd Müller, World Cup winner. You look at Lionel Messi, World Cup winner. Ronaldo, World Cup winner. Miroslav Klose, World Cup winner. Mbappe as well, already won. So if he was to get 2 World Cups, he's already been to a final in 2022. That's 3 finals in your first 3 World Cups. We haven't seen a player do something like this since Pelé.
Yep.
And that puts him in a completely different conversation, because as much as I love the Champions League, when it comes to the greatest of all time conversations, World Cups, in my opinion, is what we judge players by. Champions League, it's an amazing competition, but World Cup, that screams greatness to me.
What about the Ballon d'Or award, which Ousmane Dembélé does have? What did you see from him yesterday, Tony? Did his performance leave more to be desired?
From Dembélé?
Yeah.
From Dembélé? Yeah, he didn't really get involved in the game. I think that's Didier Deschamps' sort of mission right now. It's hard. Everyone, I hear you want to take him off the field. Like, this is a Ballon d'Or winner. The thing about France, they have Mbappe, Olise, Dembélé, Doué coming in, Zaire Emery if he gets an opportunity. You got guys that even when, almost symbolic of Mbappe yesterday, even when they play poorly or they're not involved in the game all that much, in an instant, they change the game, right? All of those guys can do that. Who's to say that Dembélé can't go on a run yesterday and make a play? Didn't happen yesterday, but you know it's in him, right? And that's really, really dangerous. Where some teams, I think, you have to play well as a team in order to win games. They have guys that can flip the game on its head in an instant, and that's what makes them so dangerous for me.
Listen, we're athletes. We want to win everything. So he's already a World Cup winner. So his next goal is Champions League. That's what he wants. That's what everybody wants after they win a World Cup. Winning a second World Cup would be a bonus. But when you look at players like this, and you talk about Dembélé, so he had a bad game. It's 1 game out of the first 3. If he tears it up the next game, we don't even talk about it. So this is a group that is deep. I would love to see their first team play their second team. I would love to see France A and B play because it's ridiculous that players
got to go watch one of their trainings.
when you go to a World Cup and you start bringing in players, the level drops always a little bit because they're not the same players. With France, it may go up because yesterday it was here, and then they made the subs and it went like this. That second half with the subs that they brought in, the level went up. So when you look at this team, I keep thinking to myself, okay, Spain, this, Spain, that. I'm thinking to myself, who can beat France if they're on? Who can beat them? Who can keep up with that pace if they really decide to kick it in little by little? By the time they get to that 8th game, my Lord, they're incredible. And I hate to say it because I'd like to see Argentina or the U.S., but how are you going to compete with, okay, I'm going to just throw in Barcola. Whatever. They'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a trophy is a trophy, but representing your country, winning a World Cup is everything we dream of.
Is there anything, Lahoud, that you saw just in this first game alone that makes you think, okay, maybe France couldn't go deep or couldn't get it done in the very end? I mean, Tony was already talking about a little bit that they have those moments where they turn on, but we don't see it for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, Michael Olise is a difference maker for me for France. As he goes, this national team is really going to go. And as I said, Kylian Mbappe is their best goal scorer. And actually, Cello, you're right to make that differentiator of great goal scorer, but I think Michael Olise is France's best player. And when you look throughout some of the greatest French teams, they've always had a conductor, a magician, someone who can do something that just makes you stop and say, what the hell was that? Did he just do that? He had Platini. He had Zidane. Michael Olise can be in that category of being a difference maker and a force of nature. In my opinion, I think he's got the talent.
And Zidane?
I think he's got to make an impression on a World Cup. I think Michael Olise can be
make an impression,
that impactful for France.
He can make an impression on this team for sure, and he could be a difference maker. But you're talking about Platini and Zidane. Like that's like royalty, right? And I think Mbappe has to get to those levels before Olise does. But I understand what you're saying as far as the impact in this group and how he can pull some of the strings, because we saw that. The through ball yesterday to Mbappe, we saw 2 of those, one from Rabiot and one from Olise before that just didn't connect, right? Just didn't connect, and they were inches away. And then, of course, the through ball comes and he scores. He turns, he hits it almost blind, hits it to the far post. But those are some pretty big names, man.
I put him in the Thierry Henry category. You know what I mean? Not the Zidane and Platini, but I put him with Thierry Henry and Mbappe. I put him in that area because it worked against Senegal. It may not work against Norway, him in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But I love the flexibility that they have, the mobility. You can play him inside, outside, and you can try different things.
Yeah. Well, France, we'll see what kind of adjustments they can make. Their next match will be against Iraq. But let's talk about Senegal, because they'll be facing off against Norway in their next game. How will you see them facing off against Norway, who we will talk about their performance coming up? But for Senegal, how do you see them in their next match?
I think they did a good job in the first half of exposing some of the things that limited France, which is the midfield. And one player that they exposed was Adrien Rabiot. Did well to get the assist, take nothing away from him, but I think looked limited. And this Senegalese side, I've always thought that the strength of the team is from back to front. Edouard Mendy was the difference between that being a game where France probably gets up in the first half. You think of the 1v1 saves. I think he had 2 saves in the first half that were out of this world, one on Mbappe. But one player that needs to step up, and I know he's had injuries and coming back from injury concerns, is Kalidou Koulibaly. He just looked like a half a second slow. He looked like he didn't have the focus, and that can happen. Both of you played at the World Cup, so that can happen as a player where you're just taking a bit longer to get your legs underneath you. But he's a player that has to come and be the leader of this team. And another player in the final third for me that needs to step up and be effective is Ismail Assar. Did so well to get the opportunities, but it's proven if you don't take your chances at this World Cup, you'll get found out and you'll get punished.
He missed a big one right at the end of the first half that he put over the bar. I don't know if it would have been called offside, but that's one, I think, from his standpoint, having a great season. We want to see him hit the back of that. We were actually sat with the owners of Crystal Palace yesterday during the game, or one of the owners of Crystal Palace. And when he went down early in the half, you saw them jump up, and then they leaped because they thought they had their World Cup goal, right, just before the break. But, yeah, he needs to be more involved. He came out in this one, right? Not a substitution you expect for Senegal at this point. But of course, the guy comes in for him, scores a goal. Now the manager has a decision to make, right? But I thought they were good value for the money in the first half. They had some ideas, and they took it to France. I like the way that they played, but France was just too much in the end.
Yeah.
66 minutes. Think about it. They played 0-0, 66 minutes against one of the favorites. So, that's the beauty of our sport. One mistake, if you don't play a perfect game against a France or Brazil or Argentina, you get punished. They played a perfect game for 66 minutes, and then they made a mistake. And when you make the mistake, now you got to chase the game to get that goal. And now all of a sudden you start separating your lines a little bit. The gaps get bigger, and what does France do? They take advantage of those gaps.
Yeah. Tony, another big question I have, how do we get on the ticket list for the next World Cup game you got going on? How do we get on the VVIP list? Oh, you were tagging along, Marcelo?
Yeah, except the parking and the state troopers and all that. I took care of that part.
That was teamwork between the two of you? Will you guys find yourself with an extra ticket or two?
That's all him. That's all him.
Right here. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy 48 Nations. More coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back in. Well, let's keep taking a look at Group I because Norway beat Iraq 4-1. So they sit at the top of the table. France, of course, joins them in the top two of this group after they got a win yesterday as well. It is truly setting us up for an incredible showdown for the last day of their group stage match with Norway taking on France in that last group stage. But next, Norway will be taking on Senegal in their next match. But listen, after this one, Erling Haaland was asked after the game if he's the best goal scorer in the World Cup. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Goal scorer, I will say I'm up there. I don't think I scored the most goals this season, so statistically, no, I'm not, because I think Harry Kane and Mbappe scored more goals than me, and that's reality. So no, I'm not.
So of course, if there's one guy that's going to be humble, it's going to be that guy, Erling Haaland. What do you make of what he had to say? He said, statistically, no, I'm not the best goal scorer, but what do you think?
You guys know strikers as well as I do.
No, I kick him. I don't.
You don't kick him? No, I think, look, it's respect to his other goal scorers, and he's not wrong. I think Harry Kane is the best goal scorer and arguably right now in the conversation for best player on the planet. But Erling Haaland is a goal-scoring machine, man. You think of what he's meant to Manchester City. Every single team he plays on, he gets goals. And I saw last night on Scoreline, I thought Ian Joy did a really good job of just giving context to what he does when he makes such an impression, whether international debut, whether Champions League, doesn't matter the competition. He's someone that makes such an imposing first impression. Now, when you look at Norway, the thing that I was really just kind of refreshed to see, that Erling Haaland, yes, will get you the goals, but it's more than just Erling Haaland with this Norwegian side, that they do have goals in them. The big thing I want to see is that partnership with Sorloth, because I think that there can be goals in that. But Tone, we talked about this and how they line up, is Sorloth, he kind of has to sacrifice a bit.
He's been, yeah.
So Haaland can get his goals.
This has been a storyline for Stolbach and the manager, right? And he's made the decision that he's going to, obviously, no doubt Sorloth would probably start on a bunch of teams in the World Cup, right? And maybe not every team, but Erling Haaland, you can't take him out of the middle of the field. This is where he does his work. So I think the idea is that, and we've had some Norwegian guests on our airways over the last couple months in preview of this, is that there are a couple things with this Norwegian side. Can they defend at the World Cup level to be one of the teams to compete? And then what you do at Sorloth, and that's been a storyline for them, and how he's adjusted. They know he'll get in the box, he'll find some opportunities. He's been the guy, because, out there you got to do a little bit more work defensively than you want to do, which he'll do. It's not what you want Erling Haaland to do, so you're not going to change him. So far it's working right now, and it's worked through their preparation. It worked through qualifying. Remember, this is a team that ran through the Italy, Israel group. It was incredible what they did and how many goals they scored. So far it's worked for them. And can they compete, I think, is going to be on the defensive side of things more than on the attacking side of things.
Well, let's bring another voice into the conversation. Jordan Campbell, football correspondent of The Athletic. Jordan, what do you think about this conversation we're having now? Do you think that Norway is more than just Erling Haaland?
Well, I mean, they definitely are, and we spoke to some of the players and the manager before the game, and they were saying, Sander Berger said there's not just two superstars now, there's many superstars in the team, and I think you saw that play out last night. There's not a huge reliance on him. It was quite funny, actually, to be sat next to some American sports journalists who maybe this is their first experience of seeing Haaland, and I think they were expecting him to run the play, and they were a bit like, why is he not involved with the ball? Why is he not touching it hardly? And I was saying, just wait, this is what happens. And I think you can see that, the Norway team know how to play to his strengths the same way City do. He doesn't feel the need to always be involved. And why does he? Because you've got Odegaard there, you've got Nusa there, and you guys were talking about Sorloth playing off the right-hand side, sacrificing himself, and they've got a really good mix of intricate play and direct play. But my concern would be the defence, but I think they proved that they're going to be able to service Haaland pretty well this tournament.
Jordan, we were talking about Alexander Sorloth, and we cover him here on the network in the Champions League for Atleti, or with Atleti, but him playing in an unusual position out wide. What do you make of his performance, and is that the best fit for him with Norway?
Well, I mean, I think you just have to look at the first goal to see why it worked, because it was a lovely team move down the right-hand side, and he was basically just pinning the left-back, who was half his size, and it was just a lovely little turn inside and fed the ball to Berger, and that was how they found the space to switch the play. So I think it works because they've got almost like a strike partnership at times, because he does go in, and that allows Ryerson to get on the overlap at right back. So no, I do like what Solbakken done with it. Some managers can be a little bit too idealistic, and they would sacrifice Solo from the team, but I think he's trying to play with a sort of asymmetric look to the team. And yeah, I thought it worked yesterday, but it might be the case that when they come up against the bigger teams that they can't quite get away with that, because I thought that Iraq did have a little bit of joy down that side, because he was narrowing in at times and making it a 2.
You talk about the superstars in this group. I'm assuming we're mentioning Haaland and Odegaard, the two biggest names. You mentioned Berg in the midfield, who we see on a weekly basis in the Premier League. Arsnes, another guy who plays at Benfica for Jose Mourinho, who I think is maybe one of the more underrated players in this particular group. He's got a lot of speed through the midfield. Could this maybe be an underrated midfield? Because we keep talking about France's midfield and, of course, Portugal's midfield and Spain's midfield. And I'm not putting them in that category, but certainly a midfield that is really, really competent. Would you agree?
No, I definitely agree. Berger actually referred to himself as the strategist in the team, which I found a little bit surprising, because you would just assume that would be Odegaard who takes on that role. But that's what they've been saying all week, is that, yes, Martin's such an important player, such an important leader for us, but he no longer feels the necessity to come deep and start every single play. He knows that he's got players there that can do that, and he can stay a little bit higher up. So no, I think that they've got that balance now, and Odegaard and Haaland don't feel like they have to go and do everything the way that we've seen other big stars at smaller nations feel like they have to carry the team. I think they've found a way of platforming them. So yeah, that midfield I thought has got a good blend to it. Would I like to maybe see a little bit more from Odegaard, but he had some nice touches, and I'm sure in these couple of bigger games where there's even more space opening up, that he'll come to the fore.
Jordan, we've talked a lot about the players of Norway, but I mean, we have to talk about the Norwegian fans at the stadium doing the rowing. I've seen them do the rowing on escalators, outside of statues, now in the stadium. Finally, we got to see them doing this. I mean, guys, we should have recreated this to start off the show, honestly. But Jordan, how was it? Because you were at the stadium, so you got to experience this in real life.
Yeah, well, I've experienced the Scots and the Norwegians, so now we've got the two worlds colliding, which is quite amazing, to be honest. So, no, they were brilliant. We had the thunderclap during the game. As you say, we've seen the rowing, that was just happening everywhere. But I think it's been a competition between the Norwegians and the Scots to see who can drink the most beer. So I don't know who's winning in that competition, but no, I think you can really see the connection with this team. It's 28 years since they've been at a World Cup, and I think you could sense the expectation. But they were definitely there to enjoy themselves, and yeah, I think you've seen that the players really have a tight knit connection with them.
Jordan, I've never had more FOMO than I do now. You get to be in Boston with the Norwegian fans and the Scottish fans. I hope you are truly enjoying everything that you're getting to experience, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, guys, let's continue here and keep up with the conversation. After everything that we've already been talking about, Lahoud, would you have Norway in the conversation as potential favorites for this World Cup? I don't know how you were thinking about them coming into this World Cup versus now having seen them played at least one match.
Yeah, for this World Cup or for this match against Senegal?
For World Cup.
World Cup? No, I don't see them as one of the favorites for the World Cup. I mean, there's teams that we mentioned, France, Spain, irregardless of the result against Cabo Verde, they have Lamine Yamal. England is in the conversation. I actually don't rate this England side as highly as some people do, but you can't count out Harry Kane and some of the experience. They still have a ways to go to make me go from being a doubter to a believer, but I don't know if you guys feel different.
No, a World Cup favorite, no. Can they potentially get to a quarterfinal? Yeah, and at that point, who knows, right, what can happen in a game. But if you're just talking, we're looking at France, Portugal, Spain, England, if you will, like these teams that have chances to get to the semifinals. I don't know that we're talking about Norway in there, but maybe they'll surprise us. Who knows?
Marcelo, how about in their group? You think maybe they could top their group, Norway?
Yeah, sure, they could. I don't think they will. Listen, this is a dark horse team. This is a team that if they got out of the group and went into a quarterfinal or a round of 16, 32, whatever, I think we'd be like, oh, okay, they did a nice job. But I don't think that topping the group, you're going to play the best team. You're going to play France. You know what I mean? And you still got to play Senegal. And those are teams that are very difficult. They're very fast. And when you talk about a Norwegian team who struggles defensively, and we saw it, they're going to have some issues. So if they can solve those, but winning the group, I think France is going to win the group.
Yeah. It'll all be so interesting to see. Well, we are going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy 48 Nations. More coming up for you on the other side of this quick break.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Morning Footy. I've got your latest headlines. We start with late night action that you might have missed at the World Cup. Austria opened their group stage with an impressive 3-1 win over Jordan. The teams traded goals on either side of halftime before Austria pulled away in the second half, courtesy of a Jordan-owned goal capped by a late penalty from Marko Arnautovic to seal the 3-1 victory. That result capped a goal-filled Tuesday with a total of 16 goals in 4 matches, with Kylian Mbappe leading France over Senegal, Erling Haaland leading Norway over Iraq, and Lionel Messi scoring his first World Cup hat-trick in Argentina's win over Algeria. Let's step away from World Cup news and talk some coaching news. AC Milan has completed the hiring of Ruben Amorim as their new head coach. Amorim steps into his first job since being fired by Manchester United back in January as he takes charge of a Milan side that finished in 5th place in Serie A, missing out on Champions League. We have news out of the Portuguese men's national team, which kicks off their World Cup against DR Congo today. Portugal will be without star defender Ruben Dias, who is going to sit out today's opener with an injury. Portugal manager Roberto Martinez confirmed that Dias will sit out, saying that he is not fully fit. Thomas Araujo is expected to start in place of Dias, and we'll have much more on Portugal later on in the show. In some other news, Portugal's Bernardo Silva has completed his next club move, officially joining Real Madrid in a free transfer. The Spanish Giants announced the signing of Silva, who left Manchester City after his contract expired. And the 31-year-old joins on a 2-year deal in a move that will reunite him with former Monaco teammate Kylian Mbappe. He is expected to be a key part of Jose Mourinho's project. Mike, when you think about Bernardo Silva joining this Real Madrid team, how do you see his role? Is he going to be a key starter or more of a role player for Jose Mourinho?
I think he's definitely going to have a massive part to play, because you look at one of the Real Madrid's biggest issues this past season was their back line and really the imbalance in the midfield. And, you know, I think he could really be a good partner for Willian Tchouameni, but Real Madrid, they mean business. How many transfers is that now? What? Cucurella over the line, Denzel Dumfries, if not done, close to over the line. So you get Bernardo Silva in there, and it makes sense for so many reasons, not just because he's a hell of a player, and I think he was a big part of why Manchester City were able to try and make it a title race at the very end. He's very durable. I think I did the numbers. He started, 45 out of 52 games, which is what you need. You need durability in there. But the biggest thing for me is the intangibles that you get, Tone, is he's a leader. He's a winner. Those are the first two things you need to have respect to come through the door. And most importantly, which is what I think is why he's in there, is he's going to change the culture. There needs to be a cultural change in that locker room, and I think he could be a big piece of it.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing they lost when they lost Modric and Toni Kroos were those leaders, right? You look around the dressing room, and if you want to go off the rails a little bit, you kind of rethink it, right? You rethink your attitude. You check yourself at the door, right? And I think Bernardo Silva is going to give Real Madrid a much-needed boost of that.
It's going to be so weird seeing him in a jersey that's not Manchester City blue. Oof. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy. More 48 nations coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I was the kid that shouldn't have made it.
Texas kid on the field.
Kind of one of those things I wasn't going to be denied.
Dempsey through.
Had Clint been any different, we wouldn't be here talking about him, talking about the legend that he is, because he would have failed. He had to be himself.
What's he saying?
You don't know where I'm from, dog. I'm from the oldest town in Texas, Nacogdoches. My mentality is make those play you. Make them play you.
You Don't Know Where I'm From, Dog is the story of Clint Dempsey. It's one of several docuseries on Paramount Plus, also including Pulisic, a 9-part docuseries available on Paramount Plus to give you a behind-the-scenes look into the life and story of U.S. star Christian Pulisic. And we also have Billion Dollar Goal, a 3-part docuseries focused on the biggest game-changing moment in American soccer history. You can watch all 3 of these documentaries exclusively on Paramount Plus. But since we are talking about Clint and his documentary, I want to ask about the current U.S. men's national team squad and how you think that they carry themselves. Because a lot of maybe critique that we've been hearing about this current squad is that maybe they don't have the personalities like a Clint Dempsey in this squad.
Listen, every generation's different because our generation, you had from Winalda to John Harkes to Big Meat here. So we had personalities. We had to have that personality. As time goes on, you know, the era changes. Players are different. They're more to themselves. They don't communicate on a bus. They put their headphones on. They're on their phones. We didn't have that. So I think when you look at this group, they're carrying themselves the way they're comfortable. And I think that's important. When you see them play on the field, is there a Dempsey? No. Is there a Tab Ramos on there? No. And those are the best 2 players. I would rate them 1 and 2 in this country. So they have players, Christian Pulisic, quiet, do your thing. I'm a big believer of do your thing, but as long as you do it on the field as a team, you're fine. And this group is quiet. Weston McKennie's the only one I would say that has that personality. The other day they were interviewing Flo, and you see him in the background looking on the glass. So, listen, everybody's got to carry themselves the way they are comfortable, and I think this team is doing a nice job of taking care of their own personalities and their own agenda to make sure they're ready to play. And we saw it the other day against Paraguay.
Yeah, I love the Weston McKennie shout, the personality that he has.
Yeah.
Tony, were you a guy that would keep quiet to yourself, like on the bus to a game, or would you be chatting up a storm with everybody? What were you like before a game?
Well, those are 2 different questions. You asked me would I'd be quiet or chatting on the bus. I wasn't a bus chatter, but was I quiet?
Oh, Marcelo's putting up the hands.
I wasn't a chatterbug on the bus. I was to myself on the bus. But if you're asking me if I was quiet, hell, no, I was not quiet. It wasn't my personality. But I also had guys like him and like Alexi. I mean, how many screaming matches did we have at each other? No, I'm telling you, seriously. I mean, and just blow-ups, and in 2 seconds they were done, and we were on to the next thing. But those were because it was the 3 that worked the closest, right? There were 3 really big personalities, and I don't think any of us were afraid. He or Alexi were not afraid to turn around and let them know what they felt about. So let me know what I felt about. Let me know what they felt about something. Nor was I afraid to let them know, and then it was over, right? But it was big personalities. But we had other ones, John Harkes.
He'd get mad if somebody shot from 40 yards. He'd yell at us anyway. Close him down. And we're like, that's fine, no problem. But you know what? It's part of the game.
Yeah. And that's, I think, but I think it's a different era. He nailed it. This group has their own personalities. Everyone argued about Christian Pulisic, that he's not an open, We saw the documentary, right? It's just not his style. So how does he do it? He's got to do it with the ball at his feet, and like he did against Paraguay, and getting an assist and creating the first goal and all that. Like, that's his personality. West is something different. Timothy Weah is something different. Tim Ream apparently is the guy in the locker room that gets the guys going. Everyone does it a little bit differently.
Yeah, the most important thing is just how it all plays out on the pitch and getting the good results. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy 48 Nations. We got more coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
England against Croatia. It is Group L kicking off today in World Cup action, and ahead of England's first World Cup game, the fans were going wild. They've arrived in Dallas. They're partying, they're singing, they're having a great time. Croatia fans as well. Everyone getting after it ahead of this. I mean, the scenes have just been electric across World Cup and the culture. And here's a look at the Croatia fans. This is in Dallas, Texas, of course, ahead of this big game. I mean, look at that banner. Holy cow. Takes up the entire length of it.
Checkers are iconic, right, with Croatia.
Yeah.
I mean, that defines Croatia right there. Incredible.
Not gonna lie, I'm more of a jumping, waving my arms kind of guy. I'm not sure I want to just walk and
You
carry
don't want to be
flag.
caught under a banner like that?
I'd rather be rowing or moving side to side like the Dutch. I don't know.
You know what's been kind of cool has been seeing some of the fans marching through the streets. We also saw that with Bosnia and the Canada match in Toronto.
How much is that going to help the culture in the United States of all these fans and see what other countries are doing to celebrate their World Cup?
To see how electric it's been. Well, the relationship between England and Croatia, there's a long history. They've faced each other 11 times, and recent history makes them very familiar opponents. They will meet for the 4th time in a major tournament since 2002, and of course, we remember that 2018 World Cup semifinal in Russia, England falling to Croatia 2-1 in extra time. And from that 2018 roster, 5 players will return from that last matchup. But ultimately, that win for Croatia sent them to their first ever World Cup final. They lost to France. So a lot of history between these two sides. Let's talk about it, though, because this England roster, when it dropped by Thomas Tuchel and the 26 players that were listed, so much of the conversation was about who was missing on this roster, whether it was Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer. And now, Mike Lahoud, they enter this World Cup with a big target on their back. How much pressure is on the manager, though, Thomas Tuchel?
Look, I don't care what the contract says for Thomas Tuchel. I don't care what it's written in terms of his longevity with this national team. He's got to get to a semifinal or bust for me, because he's made some massive decisions. When you look at this roster, okay, goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, that's a mainstay. I like everything I see with the Nico O'Reillys, the Konsas, John Stones. You need some elder statesmen, but the John Stones that barely played this season.
We like to say veterans.
Veterans, thank you very much.
Please.
AARP for English people. No, John Stones, I question that one. Yeah. And maybe you could say he was part of the setup in qualifiers, but he hasn't gotten any minutes, or many minutes. But Trevor Chalobah, Tone, am I crazy for this? If you're Thomas Tuchel.
Didn't have a good year.
And you decide when Tino Livramento gets injured, feel for Tino, gets injured, you call Trevor Chalobah in, who was poor for Chelsea, and you still leave out Trent? What's behind that?
Yeah, and Harry Maguire, I don't know. I mean, Harry Maguire is another one of those guys in the misses, right, that you were talking about. And we were chatting about this in the morning, right? I feel like there's a lot of similarities between what Thomas Tuchel has done and what Mauricio Pochettino has done with regards to the identity is about the group, right? And maybe I don't need all the superstars. Yeah. Maybe all the superstars can't fit in the puzzle. Maybe I don't need Cole Palmer to fit in the puzzle. And it's about who's Jordan Henderson is one of those guys, right? That kind of people scratch their head a little bit about, a little bit older player, but you talked about you need the veterans, right, in that group. So I feel like he has certainly prioritized that rather than the guy that might be just slightly better, right, individually, but fits into the group. Now, the proof is going to be in the pudding. 5 weeks from now, we're going to make a determination on whether Thomas Tuchel was right or Thomas Tuchel was wrong in his decision-making. Same thing with a guy like Mauricio Pochettino. Was it right or was it wrong? I think that's where he went. And as a guy that's coming in from the outside, not being an English coach, right, it was truly a clean slate. Right, which every manager says, right, all the time. It's a clean slate. Everyone's got, and then in the end, you're like, nah, BS. It wasn't a clean slate. But this is kind of where I see Thomas Tuchel and his decisions.
Yeah, and it ultimately will be determined what happens at the end of it. You're saying a semifinal run, of course. They're trying to break a drought. Is it 60 years
60 years.
They've won a World Cup for England? But it starts today, Martello, because it is England against Croatia in a huge matchup, a mouthwatering one that we get to witness. What's your storyline to watch?
My storyline was right there. How much pressure do these guys have? 60 years without winning thing, reaching a semifinal, getting to the Euros twice and losing in the finals to Italy. So when you look at this team, is how much pressure do they have? Can they get past that pressure? Can they? And I disagree a little bit. I think they have to reach a final and they have to win it finally, because we talked about this golden generation of English players, and we've seen it over the last 8 years. This is it. After this, what really, the Harry Kanes are gone to the world, you know what I mean? So for this team, the storyline is how are they going to handle the pressure of having to win the World Cup?
Okay, so you say a semifinal is where England have to
minimum.
You say a final. Tony, what do you say for England?
Yeah, for them, it's It's got to come home, right? Yeah. It's coming home. If it doesn't come home, then it's going someplace else, which is not good enough for me for this English side.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've gotten your storyline to watch. What about you, Big Tones? Storyline?
The Harry Kane storyline. Like I think we talked about Messi earlier in the show. Like we've been blessed, right, with Messi and seeing him. I think we've also been blessed with Harry Kane and just seeing one of the greatest strikers of this generation. He does a little bit of everything. Not only that, he's a leader. He's a professional always does it the right way. I think going to the Bundesliga, playing in Germany, playing with that team, with Bayern Munich in Champions League, has kind of opened up our idea of Harry Kane and how he plays and the things that he can do. My concern is what happens if Harry Kane goes down? Who's the guy? Is it Ivan Toney? I mean, who's the guy that picks up the pieces, right, for them? Because I think we're looking at a generational guy here. I've been on record saying, and I know that I hope England doesn't take it home from the U.S., right? I'm just on record saying it. But if they do win the World Cup, this is the one guy that I would be happiest for, is Harry Kane. Because I think if anybody deserves a World Cup on this English side, it's this guy right here.
Of course it is him.
You know what you just did, Tony? You just manifested an England-U.S. men's national team World Cup final.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely be okay with that.
I'd be about that life as well. So I love your talk about Harry Kane. My big concern for England are who are going to be the three players underneath Harry Kane. Yeah. We've seen that there's competition for places in this English national team. Is it going to be Jude Bellingham? It should be Thomas Tuchel. It should be. Or is it going to be Morgan Rogers? That's a big debate, and I think Jude Bellingham has to play. I don't care where you put him. He's got to be on the field. Now, there is a team that's playing against England, and obviously we know Croatia. And every single time, I've learned this lesson with Croatia, every single time you count them out, you do it so at your own peril. But this is an aging Croatian team. Luka Modric, 40 years old. Ivan Perisic, who balled out against England in that semifinal matchup, got a goal and assist. He's 37. So my big storyline I'm looking at is this young generation, is this next generation ready to step up? Petr Sucic, so you covered him with City A. Cello, you're going to get to love Petr Sucic. He's such a good player. But now I want to see where Zlatko Dalic puts him. He's played advance as one of the two underneath the center forward for Croatia, but I think his best position, Lisa, is actually as a deep-lying playmaker. I'd love to see him right next to Luka Modric and see those two run the show. And Martin Baturina, a friend of the show, he came on Morning Footy. I think it was the Coppa Italia semifinal against Inter. He's just got something special about him. He could be a difference maker off the bench. But these two players, it's going to be their first World Cups. They could be the ones to shine.
Yeah, young players have an opportunity to make statements in this World Cup, especially when you look at this Croatian side. But if you look at how these two teams are most likely going to line up today and face each other, where on the pitch, Mike, will this game be won for Croatia?
Yeah, Croatia needs to have someone replace Mario Mandzukic. And for me, the big thing that they do, the biggest strength of theirs is definitely in the midfield. For me, this combination of Baturina, should he start, and Ivan Perisic. For England, Nico O'Reilly on the left, he's going to be bombing forward. Anthony Gordon, they're going to be trying to have this good telepathic relationship. But if you can get an injury-prone Reece James, 1v1, with the likes of Perisic and Baturina, and if it's Noni Madueke, if you're Croatia, switch the ball as soon as possible and get service into the final third. Ivan Perisic is one of the best crossers of the ball at this World Cup. He's proven it over his illustrious career. I watched him do it for PSV in the Dutch Eredivisie. But I just wonder if this could be the World Cup to remember for Peter Musa. We watch him for FC Dallas. It's going to be a big, big decision who Zlatko Dalic puts into the number 9. But I think out wide, on this left-hand side, that's where a lot of the goals come from.
Okay, so we're looking at this left flank for Croatia. Marcelo, what about for England? Where's this game going to be won?
Oof, and their strength, pressing, going fast, going forward, getting balls into Harry Kane. For me, when the English are at the best, they're getting wide, they're getting balls into the box. That's what they do. And especially if you can get Harry Kane in there, you can get Bellingham in there. When you look at this team, the only thing that concerns me is weather. Weather, because the English are not, we've seen the commercials where they walk out in their uniforms, they explode in their uniforms because they're not used to the heat. So anytime you've seen them play in some sort of heat, their game slows down. And when you slow down, now all of a sudden that's going to give Croatia an opportunity to do the things. But I think the key is how quickly can you get Harry Kane and how often can you get the ball to Harry Kane?
Saka on the bench, right? Looks like Madueke is going to play today. A little bit of a injury. For me, if these two guys, a little bit older, Modric and Kovacic, have to defend a lot today, I think Croatia's in trouble, right? You want the ball at their feet. They're music makers, right? They control the tempo of the game. But of course, I think this team will be pinned back a little bit. But you talk about a small country. There's no smaller country that plays better football that we've seen over the last 25 years than this country right here, and they'll be up to the challenge. There's no doubt.
One of the matches to watch in this group stage. Okay, these guys, they told you why, the ins and outs, the nitty-gritty of this game, but everyone watching on YouTube, they just want to make money, guys. They're asking for John Buckets Eimer to come in. We see your comments, and we will give you exactly what you want. We are pleased to welcome in Buckets. Hey, John, everyone's asking for you. Are you ready? Big pressure today for this game.
Big pressure, Lisa. Thank you for having me. I'm always nervous to talk about England. I was on last night, and I said I was very pro-England, and Ian Joy booed me for the next 10 minutes. So it can be tough out here when you back an England side, but I do think there's... Okay, here we go again. There's value to be had when you're betting on this England side, especially, as you guys mentioned, when they're playing an aging Croatia team. Right now, my two bets for this game are England over 1.5 team total, so it's England to score 2 or more, which we're getting at plus money. I know that Croatia has a ton of football heritage. I know how good this side are, and I know that England a lot of times does not live up to expectations, but Croatia's just been struggling lately, both in their friendly and their last couple World Cup qualifiers. We saw them play their best squad, and Croatia conceded once to Faroe Islands and 2 to Montenegro. If England plays their best football, which I know that they are capable of finding, I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to put a couple goals in as well. And then bet number 2, for breakfast this morning, I had a big bowl of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm just going for the main man to score. Harry Kane right now to score or assist is minus 110. It's almost even money, a little bit of juice here. But if someone's going to score for England, and I say this as a Bayern Munich fan, so of course there's a little bit of bias, I don't know how you don't bet Harry Kane every single match he plays across the entirety of the World Cup. It feels as close to free money as we can get. Free money doesn't exist in betting. We got to bet responsibly, but I will always take Harry Kane if I can get him at odds like this, guys.
What do you think? You like these bets, guys? You're in on it?
I can't. It's hard to bet against Harry Kane, right? In what he does, there's no doubt.
It's hard to bet against him. You putting money on him?
No, look, I'm not going to bet against Buckets.
I know you're going to go against me.
I'm trying to throw you a curveball, but I can't. So, because I usually come in hot with Buckets, but he's on a heater, man.
Yeah, he is.
You seen his parlays? You seen his record?
Hey,
you can't miss.
Hey, let's go. That's why everyone on YouTube is like, give us John Buckets. John, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Big game today, Croatia against England. They start their World Cup campaign. Stick with us. We'll be back with more Morning Footy, 48 Nations.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back into Morning Footy. Now with Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo getting ready to play and open up their World Cup journey. Our good friends from SofaScore, they thought they'd help us out with this. And Big Tony Miola, he's going to help us out with this because the big question is, it's now or never. And can Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal finally get their hands on the World Cup, Tone, the big thing for me, we talk about favorites, but when you look at it, Spain, okay, we've talked about. France, okay, we've talked about. Argentina. But Portugal at 6? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, look, for me personally, I love to see this after we see everybody play. So obviously England playing today, Portugal playing today. But I think as a pre-tournament, this is probably in and around it. I don't necessarily like right now with those teams what I've seen from Brazil, right? But of course, we talk about this Portuguese side, and that's the topic here. This midfield engine is incredible, right? But I do love to get into the tournament and see how teams play because there's a different energy. I feel like Spain, who everyone, or I shouldn't say everyone, most people pick Spain or France as 1 and 2 in their brackets, right? But I feel like Spain haven't really started their campaign. Of course, there's a big storyline with Cabo Verde and all of that, but I feel like they played scared, and maybe you get to the second game and you have a different energy. But I think for a pre-tournament, none of these are really all that far off.
Yeah, look, for Portugal to go from 6 all the way to the top of this favorite standings, there's one player that really has to show up, and it's the main man, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, we're going to see some interesting stats because I have some concerns about Cristiano Ronaldo's age. But if you go back in time, this is Portugal with Ronaldo in terms of getting goals at World Cups. And when you look at it, Tone, okay, not bad, expect more. Much better, but just 1 in 2022?
Yeah, it's been a storyline for Cristiano Ronaldo, right? He hasn't lit up the World Cup, but then you add it all up after 5 World Cups and you got a bunch of goals out of him. But I think the storyline is winning the World Cup or not. I think we throw all these numbers away, right, if he wins the World Cup, and that's what I think the title was now or never.
Yeah.
Right? This is really what it is for Cristiano Ronaldo. It's now or never. And I think this is what it is for this Portuguese side because this is the way they're built right now. They're built with some superstars in this group. And I would think the question, I want to phrase this in the right way. The question is the number 9.
Yeah.
Right? The number 9 position, which happens to right now be Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw this change with Fernando Santos in the last World Cup when he benched Cristiano Ronaldo. If they get production out of Cristiano Ronaldo, they'll be there in the end. I don't think there's and that for me always means a semifinal. Then anything can happen after that.
Yeah, look, I think that there's a lot of pressure on Cristiano Ronaldo for everything that you said, but most importantly, because Lionel Messi just scored 3 goals last night.
We've seen this story
the
before,
debate's
right?
going to keep going on, Tone. But when you look at the World Cup stats, okay, you can get your 8 goals, but Ronaldo's never scored the knockout round of a World Cup. Messi's on verge of breaking the all-time World Cup record. So is there still a debate here, or am I the crazy one thinking it's all Messi and there's no Ronaldo party?
Well, this clearly for me, the bottom line is the most important one, right? Your team gets in those moments where you have a chance to get over the line and you got to get it done, and the 0 stands out because when we're talking about great goal scorers in this era, his name is constantly at the top of the list, right? But in a moment like the World Cup, in a moment where they need him most, this has been the number, and it's 0. So again, if he's going to get to this point where we think they're going to compete for a World Cup, this number is going to have to change.
Yeah, the pressure is going to be going up and up and up for that very, very same reason. Now, we had teed this up before. Lionel Messi, he literally wears the number 10. He is the perfect 10. He's done it 55 times. But when we look here, Mbappe, everyone has eyes to see. That's Kylian Mbappe. That's Neymar. Where's Ronaldo? Have you seen Ronaldo? He's not on the list. So what do you make of this, of Cristiano Ronaldo not being on this list at 13 compared to two players alongside Messi who are part of this generation of great goal scorers and great players?
Here's what I think about this number right here with Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't have to be on this board at all for Portugal to win the World Cup because he's got so many complementary pieces around him, right? He just has to play his part for me, right? And because when you're talking about Bruno Fernandes, leading assist getter in the Premier League this year, MVP of the Premier League, player of the season, João Neves, Vitinha, who's one of my favorite players, Bernardo Silva on one side, Pedro Neto, okay, a little bit of a question mark for me there on the left-hand side on where he fits in this group. But then you talk about their wing backs and how they get forward. He just needs to fit the puzzle. He doesn't need to be the puzzle this time around for me, for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Now, we're getting some comments. Remember, we're live on YouTube, and there's people saying, no way Portugal wins the World Cup unless Cristiano Ronaldo gets 6 goals, which it's doable.
That might be the number.
Cast.
That might be the number. But my point is, I don't think he has to carry as much of the load as he used to have to carry in the past because the pieces behind him are better, right? He just needs to be part of the mix for me. And of course, at 41 years old, I don't know that we're going to see him for 90 minutes the entire game. We have seen some recent preparation games where things haven't looked great for him, right? Now, can he put it together at the World Cup? I think he's going to benefit from the guys behind him and the guys out wide and the guys that are more the music makers of this team than Cristiano Ronaldo is. He's, again, I'm going to use the term, he needs to be a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, Tone, you bring up a really good point, and you've been a manager, you've been in high-pressure situations where you have your best player who's getting older, but if you put your Roberto Martinez hat on, do you think that he's going to play every single minute or play him every single minute of every game? We know that Ronaldo wants to play every minute of every game, but when you have a goal scorer like Gonzalo Ramos, who, you said it, he scored at a World Cup not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah, Fernando Santos made that change in the last World Cup. It was a big storyline because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think if Roberto Martinez makes the change this World Cup, it's going to be as big a storyline. Guy's 41 years old now, right? So he's going to need a little bit of a break. And if Gonzalo Ramos is the guy to replace him, I think he'll see more minutes. I think it's probably determined that he's going to see more minutes this time around than it was back in 2022.
Yeah, Gonzalo Ramos also, keep in mind, if you've watched PSG matches this season, he's become one of the best super subs in all of world football this campaign. But Tone, you mentioned the importance of the supporting cast. It's not a bad cast to have.
Yeah.
Is this the best midfielder in the world for you? Maybe Bruno Fernandes has something to say about that?
I joke all the time. He will become my favorite midfielder in the world as soon as the last segment, Luka Modric retires, right? Because he's been my favorite for 15 years now. So the comment we just had was something to the effect, Cristiano Ronaldo has to be in the mix if they're going to win the World Cup. For me and my money, this group here, these 3 have to be at top form if Portugal's going to win the World Cup. There is so much ability in this midfield. There's so much work in this midfield. There's so much creativeness in this midfield. And there's the final pass out of all 3 of these players that can unlock a game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tone. This is the most complete midfield at the World Cup. Now, we've done this in the previews to the World Cup, and now that the World Cup's here, we're going to go back into a simulation. So our good friends at SofaScore, they did a simulation, and it was about Portugal's most probable path to win the country's first ever World Cup and send Cristiano Ronaldo off in style. Now, this is a simulation with the common run of opponents for Portugal done 100,000 times, right? Before the start of the World Cup. And what's that magic number there? 1,600 wins in 100,000 times. Not bad odds. Now, if you look at the path for Portugal, round of 32, round of 16 against Swiss, tricky match. But this is the matchup for the ages if we get this with Argentina, no?
Yeah, so I guess if my numbers are right, this gives you about a 6% chance to win at the end of the day if you're Portugal, right? But you talk about the train. This is the train right here. I don't know. Where does it fall off the tracks, at this point? I can see, okay, I like the fact that Panama's going to get through from CONCACAF. Switzerland, okay, I understand. But, man, over here, man, this one, this is where they might get derailed a little bit. And if they don't get derailed there for some reason, then just look at the pathway to go, man. There's a lot. And I know you got to beat good teams to get to the World Cup. Man, there's a long road in this World Cup. 6% chance, I guess the numbers tell you that that's about where they're at, right?
No, it'll be one of the greatest achievements if Portugal are able to beat Argentina, England, and then Spain in the final. Remember, this is a simulator, but it can also become a reality. Let us know in the comments, can Portugal finally win the World Cup? And more importantly, can Ronaldo finally get his hands on that World Cup trophy? As we see here, people saying Ronaldo holds Portugal back.
I think the one before said something about, if we could pop it back up, something about people doubting Ronaldo. There's certainly nobody here doubting Ronaldo. My point is that he doesn't need to be as big a piece as he was in the past because of the cast we just showed here, which is a cast that they haven't had in this Portuguese side. But are we doubting Ronaldo? No. How can you doubt a guy that scored so many goals and at 41 is actually made a World Cup team, right? Of course, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He was going to make this team. Yeah, but nobody's doubting Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, well, words, big words, wise words. Tony Meola. We're going to go a quick break. More Morning Footy on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Well, the first group stage match day for Group D ended with the USA and Australia getting wins over Paraguay and Turkey. So the odds have the USMNT with the best chances to advance from Group D with negative 10,000. That's then followed by Australia at negative 700. So all of this leads us to our expert guidance segment brought to you by Zillow. Sunday starts today. Lahoud, how do you think that Mauricio Pochettino's leadership has helped this USMNT squad in culture?
I really think what he's done has probably been the most important thing since we saw the U.S. men's national team fall flat on their face at Copa America. He's changed this culture of entitlement that was at the national team when Greg Berhalter was the coach. And I want to give Greg Berhalter credit because Greg Berhalter did his job by getting the team to a World Cup. But I love this sense of competition that he's provided back in the national team. And as I say that, I'm sitting next to two U.S. soccer legends here. So I want to hear from you guys because that was the biggest thing I saw in that match against Paraguay. There's just this focus, there's this intensity and this sense of competition and this growing belief with the team.
Yeah, I think he's made it and we just talked about it right in the England segment a little bit earlier. He's made a priority about the team comes first, right? And you're going to fight all the time and you're going to battle. And maybe you're not the best player, but I'm going to, whatever your number is every day, and the understanding is from training, if you're a level 8 player, well, he's going to get a 9 out of you every single day, right? He's not going to let you perform at a 6 or a 7. He's going to make you perform at your top every day, and he's going to keep you on your toes all the time. You mentioned the entitlement. It kind of crept in. At least we thought from the outside, and it hurt this national team a little bit. So Mauricio Pochettino was a bit of a reset. I don't think we understood his sort of way of doing it early on, but I think we're starting to see the fruits of his labor right now, and we saw it certainly against Paraguay.
So then, Marcelo, because of that, do you think the criticism, the critiques on Mauricio Pochettino coming into this tournament have started quieting down a little bit, or do you think that they're really still there until we see more?
Listen, the beauty of being a coach, being an athlete, is your job relies on results. When you're not getting the results, you're going to get beat up. That's just part of being a coach. Welcome to being a national team coach, an MLS coach, a world coach. You win, things are great. You lose, your job's in jeopardy. I think he came in and he stamped his foot really quick. He said, this is the way it's going to work. This is the way I want my team to play. And I think he's doing that. Was the criticism fair? Sure. They weren't winning. They weren't playing well. Great. But you know what? At the end of the day, when you talk about a national team coach, you're going to talk about what he did in the World Cup. We're talking about Paraguay. And this whole country is so excited. Everywhere you go, you see people with their flags, USA shirts. We went to the game, France-Senegal, USA shirts everywhere. Do you remember what happened to Belgium and Portugal? No, because we don't care. The important thing is getting the job done on the biggest stage possible. We hired Pochettino for this, to get us out of the round, to get us into a quarterfinal, to do something special. And he started off on the right foot. That whole team did, and we want to see more of it.
So in that game versus Paraguay, Tony, we saw the U.S. have a lot of success on the wings. Do you see them being able to bring that same game plan into now this next match against Australia? An Australia team who beat Turkey and was kind of a shock to us.
Yeah, I've said all along, and I know we have this long-running thing with our colleague Mike Grella, right, in this layup thing. I've been on call, time and time again, saying I think that this is one of the more difficult matchups in the group. Yeah. This team's disruptive. They're very athletic. You mentioned playing wide. I'm not sure that's how we're going to play. What we did against Paraguay is pull fullbacks out so we could run in behind, and we did it, and somehow Paraguay didn't figure out. Their manager talked about it after the game, how tactically Mauricio Pochettino set his team up. This is a team that plays with 3 or 5, however you want to call it, and they've got big center backs. They are inviting you to play balls in the box. They are inviting you to put crosses in the box. They are inviting you to put the ball in the air, put runners. You're going to have to break them down with a pass. I will say this. Gio Reyna was a controversial sort of, for some people. I had him in my list. He was a controversial pick for a lot of people. I think, personally, Zendejas and Reyna were brought to this national team for a game like this. A game where you need the splitting pass, right, to find a run. A game where a little bit of creativeness, maybe that someone else doesn't have, right, to break down the opposition, who I think for a majority of this game will be deeper. And we saw this against Turkey. They gave up 30 shots against Turkey. 30 shots. Now, Turkey was not clinical. Some of those were from distance because of how deep they are. It's not a team, though, Claudia, that you want to go down 1-0 against. Now, you never want to go down 1. I understand. It's a trite saying, right? But this is a team that tightens the screws even more if they go up 1-0.
This is a team that's comfortable not having the ball.
Yeah.
And that is very important because they're comfortable. There's a lot of teams that want Argentina wants the ball. They don't want to defend. This team's okay. This team will play that 4-5-1. They'll invite you in. They'll hit you with Touré on a quick counter, which we saw, or Iran Koundé. They'll take off. He's boom, gone. So
Metcalf, another one on the other side.
That's what scares me is we're going to send numbers. We're going to commit numbers because we want to attack. You're going to send Jedi. You're going to send Serginho Dest. That means you're going to leave Tim Ream, Richards, and Freeman. That means Freeman's going to go a little bit. My concern is one-on-one. Imagine Tim Ream against Touré. That counterattack worries me. So that's where the U.S. has to be careful.
You brought up Nestori Irakunde, who became the youngest goal scorer for Australia in the World Cup. How much of a problem is he going to be? We just started talking about it. How much of a problem is he going to be for the U.S.?
Yeah, I think the U.S. men's national team has to be very wary with how composed they are and just how good they are in possession. Because we've been there as players where a team gives you the time and space on the ball, and then you just get casual. And one player that has a habit at times, and I thought he sharpened it up in the match against Paraguay, and I thought he was much better. But Tyler Adams' focus for 90 minutes. We know he can be Mr. Intensity, but if Tyler Adams has a poor day, if Malik Tillman gets lax and casual on the ball, then steps in Irakunde. Now, I know people will see that he plays in the championship, and I think the championship is a growing league. I think it's an excellent league for young players. But at one point, he was in the Bayern Munich Academy, which tells you he's a really good player. He's young, he's tenacious, he is lightning quick, and he's highly motivated. And look, you know, we joke around about Grella and what he said, but I mean, there might be posters of what Grella said in the locker room, and it might be the fire that's fueling this Australian team. And I saw a post-match interview where Irakunde said, and there's this sense of, we're going to come here to shock the world. And I think this is a game that Australia has had circled on the schedule for a long time, well before Grella said what he said. I think because they believe that they can be the spoilers of this group.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comments right now. Someone says Australia, USA 2-2. Potentially could
be.
Someone put 2-3. I don't know if they're going for the USA being the one with 3. I don't know. But if there is a scenario where if the U.S. does beat Australia in this game and Turkey drops points to Paraguay in their game, then the U.S. would then already clinch Group D. If you're Mauricio Pochettino in that scenario, what do you do in this game versus Australia? Are you thinking about that?
By the way, it also means if Australia wins this game and Turkey drops points, they're through, right, in this thing. So they're looking at it that way as well. I think Mauricio Pochettino continues to give the guys the freedom to do what they did in the attacking third of the field. One thing that surprised me, because we didn't see it in the preparation game a few months ago against Australia, the numbers, I'm not surprised by them counterattacking against Turkey. What I am surprised about is how many numbers they attacked with in the counter. It was guys sprinting forward. It wasn't 1 or 2 guys. It was 3 or 4 guys. And that surprised me a little bit, which just shows the hunger of this Australian side to prove that they can compete. And look, okay, maybe Marcelo said they feel comfortable without the ball. Maybe they feel comfortable giving up 30 shots. I got to think if they give up that many shots to the U.S., and by the way, their goalkeeper stood on his head, Patrick Beach, right, who was in for Matty Ryan, who was the captain of the team, experienced all of that stuff. He stood on his head in this game, was the man of the match. I don't know that you want to live that dangerously if you're Australia 2 games in a row, right? So
22-year-old?
Yeah.
It didn't come off his line, was nervous to come out outside the 6 to catch any crosses. So listen, the U.S. has the players to break down that wall. They do. Tony said it. They brought Reina and they brought Zendejas because they're very good in small spaces, in tight spaces. They can pass between the lines. Then we add in a Christian. Then you add in a Flo up top who makes fantastic runs behind the back line. So they're going to be in a little bit more trouble than they were against Turkey A. The important thing is staying organized. because you have to stay organized defensively because they're so good on the counter. And I'll tell you what, set pieces is going to be defensive set pieces for the United States is going to be huge because their center back is 6'5", 6'6", and their other players I think are 6'4", 6'3", somewhere in there. So this is going to be, listen, a difficult game. It's winnable, and I think we will win, but those set pieces make me just a little nervous because of their size and the delivery of the ball.
Yeah, well, this matchup will be an earlier matchup this Friday. USA taking on Australia. We'll see how this one plays out. We are going to take a quick break here now on Morning Footy 48 Nations. Much more coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy 48 Nations. Well, we all know the best city in this country is Philadelphia, especially when it comes to partying and tailgating. And Ecuador and Ivory Coast fans, they got to experience this firsthand. This is insane. Flip Cup scenes. Talk about a game within the game ahead of this World Cup match. It looks like Ecuador was crushing it on the Flip Cup table there. Love to see it in the tailgating in Philly. Okay, take a look at this. There have been explosive performances across the pitch, but yesterday at halftime between Norway and Iraq in Boston, there was a pipe burst. This is just on the edge of the attacking area. The grounds crew working overtime to stop the pipe burst. They had to turn off the sprinklers all over the field, and then the grounds crew comes out and they have their shovels and their squeegees. They're trying to get rid of all the water. This is at halftime of the game.
Lisa, if this was in Philadelphia, I would have health concerns. If that was the Schuylkill River for the person, the groundskeeper near that.
Fired.
Get a hazmat suit, man.
Shots fired at Philly. There's
Gotta
no need
balance
for
it
that,
out.
Michael.
Gotta
Aren't
balance
you a
it out.
former Philadelphia Union player? doing? What are you doing? All right, take a look at this. The England fans, ahead of their game today against Croatia, they went to the Texas Rodeo. Listen to what they're singing.
Sweet Caroline.
There you go, Claudia. You got it. You got it. Nothing like Sweet Caroline at a rodeo in Texas.
So good. So good. So good. So good.
That's a staple at weddings here in the U.S. I wonder if it's a staple in weddings over in England. I don't know.
It's a staple for games in England and everywhere, and they're bringing it to the rodeo.
Love it.
It's fun. The social scenes have been so fabulous across the World Cup. Okay, guys, we have a very fun segment that we are doing here. It is called the Sandwich World Cup, and this international tournament of world football that pits nations against each other. We said, all right, let's see which nation has the best sandwich. So we are pitting them against each other. We do have some in studio that you all will be trying and actually tasting.
Do you have a bib for the shirt? Tony's wearing this shirt for the first time in 7 months since he got it.
I'm a professional eater. I do not need a bib.
Don't get crumbs all
I don't know. Am I trying something? Lay on me here.
We don't have all of the sandwiches. So we're going to start with this one. It is Portugal against DR Congo, which is the francesinha, which is a heavy sandwich from Portugal featuring layers of bread, cured ham, sausage, steak, and it's all covered in melted cheese and a sauce traditionally served with fries. And then for the DR Congo, it is the mitraillette, the Congolais, which is a Congolese sandwich built on a half baguette stuffed with grilled meats and topped with French fries and a mayo-based sauce. So, Marcello, this is you. You don't get to taste them. But
Well,
which
they're
one looks
both
better?
a heart attack waiting to happen.
Which one are you choosing?
I'm gonna. Which side? How do you say it?
Might not be a good game for me.
Yeah, for the Portuguese sandwich.
How do you say that?
Francesinha.
Francesinha. I'm going with that one.
Oh, it looks delicious.
It
It's a heavy sandwich.
I do like
it's
egg,
really
though. It's
heavy.
okay. I'll cut it
Perhaps
out.
not
I'll
a
take half.
pregame meal, maybe post-game.
Lunch and dinner.
There you go.
Dinner. I like it.
Not if Tony
okay,
takes
we
the other
we
half
have our
first.
next one here. Ghana against Panama. So it is the Ghana chopped cheese, which is chopped ground beef and cheese with sweet fried plantains. Mike, you're doing this one. And then for Panama, it is the pan con pierna, which is a roast pork sandwich, which is slow roasted pork. It has onions on it, cheese, sometimes tomatoes.
I gotta represent my West African brothers and sisters. I'm going with the Ghanaian one.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Because I love plantains. I grew up on plantains.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks
but the Panamanian sandwich looks awesome as well.
That's good, by the way.
Yeah? The one from Panama?
You've had it.
I've never had it.
That's good. That's why I was throwing hints. I was
I
like,
thought we were eating something in this thing.
I know.
Tony, don't worry.
Tony,
you
you're
got some
hungry?
water too? You good? You
I
good?
saw the rundown. It said breakfast was coming. I'm here.
Is this what Tony was
So
like
that's the
at
reason why he showed
practice
up
on the
today.
pitch?
All right, Tony. All right, we got you. You get to do England against
England.
Croatia.
Well, I was going to say, give me Italian food. That really doesn't fit in this World
Beans and
Cup.
toast. Give them beans and toast.
So for
No
our
beans and
England
toast.
sandwich, we are going with a BLT, a bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Now, we did do
Hold
some
on, a
research
BLT
on
is
this
English?
one. It was
Yeah,
created
apparently.
by the English. Now, Jeff Shreves, our very own, he did give us a cucumber sandwich, which is cucumber and shredded cheese. And we decided to help you out, Tony, because you are eating it. We're going to give you a BLT for England. And then for Croatia, it's the savepi, which is beef, lamb, or pork sausage served in a pita-like bread with onions,
I already like the
pepper
look of
relish,
that one.
and sauce.
All right. Well, I know what a BLT tastes like, but just for the show, I'm going to take a bite.
Come on.
What a sacrifice, Tony, you're making.
Very good. Very
Mike's
good.
getting it
All
in the
right.
action. Oh, Tony's
You guys
nice.
have to try the Croatian one, too.
No, I
Okay,
won't
no,
try
yeah, this
that.
one I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Let's see. Oof.
How
You're
is
like,
it?
oh, BLT. No, it tasted like a BLT, by the way. We have at the diner down the road.
English BLT or American BLT?
Oh, man, what was this one?
That's the Croatian sandwich.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Savepi.
Winner.
Yeah?
Sausage dinner here.
Yeah.
So apparently we got
man.
this sandwich from New Jersey, from
Oh,
Croatia.
that's beautiful. That
The
one.
great state
Hold
of
on,
New Jersey.
let me get mine out of here.
Yeah.
Now everyone
so
wants
that
to
one's
try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ooh,
I've been waiting for that one. Don't.
that right here.
Where are you going?
I'm taking this home. I got a family to feed.
Share this way.
All right.
We do have some comments. BLT all
really
day
good.
with
I know.
extra mayo. Interesting.
Extra mayo, yeah, okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
Have you had Savepi? Because it sounds pretty good.
This looks good.
Okay, so while the boys continue to eat, Claudia, don't worry.
It's a good game here.
BLT is not English. No way. It's got too much flavor to be from England.
Well, as the boys eat, you are not.
All right, I'm ready. I haven't eaten yet because I know there's something else coming.
We are doing Uzbekistan against Colombia. For Uzbekistan, it is the naan kebab, which is a sandwich built on traditional Uzbek flatbread known as naan, and it features slow-cooked grilled meat served with onions and other vegetables, as well as special sauces. That's all it says. So. Your guess as to what the special sauces are. And then for Colombia, we are doing arepa de queso, which is a very traditional Colombian corn cake that is grilled or pan-seared and stuffed with cheese.
Okay.
So this is your naan kebab.
That's what I'm going to go for.
Uzbekistan.
That's good too.
Okay.
Wow. See how Claudia doesn't pass the plate around.
She's got
One way to do it.
I mean, in our pre-meeting before the show started, she was eating what, a fruit roll-up or something. I was like, you need real food, Claudia.
Oh.
Do the honors.
Yeah.
You're the expert, man.
So how is it?
I love how Big Tone just with one glove just boom.
How is it, Tony?
Sweet. There's something sweet in there.
Interesting.
It might be cucumbers. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's cucumbers.
Cucumbers?
There,
Yeah. Go ahead. Have it.
Wow, nice.
Let's see.
Colombia?
Okay, what about Colombia? This is arepa de queso.
I have a feeling I'm going to love this.
Oh, it's a great game we're playing, by the way.
I like this. Can we do this for the rest
Reese,
of
can
the
you get
World
us some
Cup?
utensils?
I know.
Yep. Utensils?
Let me pick up the tomato that I...
Utensils. He
No,
wants
he's
to
got to rip it.
Oh, no.
Show him how to do it.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, Claudia will show you how to get it.
perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
Fried.
Yeah.
Dig in there. Dig in
go.
there. Oh, goodness.
Okay. Not quite sure what it is, but I taste cheese.
Yeah, that's it.
Arepa
Corn
con
cake.
queso.
There you go.
Cheese.
All right.
All right, I'm going to
Meh.
pull a Tony and pull this over to
Meh.
All right, so who's the winner? Uzbekistan or Colombia?
arepa con queso.
Ah.
I gave the one from Uzbekistan. It's good, but you can't beat an arepa. So I'm going to go with this. I don't know. Would you guys choose something?
This Croatian one is the overall winner.
Yeah?
Overall.
The overall winner. Yeah, they're winning the Food World Cup. This one.
Wow.
The cevepa. The cevepi.
Cevepa?
Excuse me. Cevepi. Yeah, amazing. Okay, wow. This sounds good.
That one.
Oh,
Delicious.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you toss? Because I'm going to keep
Yeah,
eating.
I
Toss to
got you,
break?
Claudia. I'll send us to break. Guys, stick with us right here on Golazo Network and Morning Footy 48 Nations. We'll be back with so much more after this quick break.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, and we've got 4 more matches today over in Group K. It is Portugal taking on DR Congo and Uzbekistan versus Colombia. And in Group L, it is England versus Croatia and Ghana versus Panama. If you didn't know it, it's because we were eating all the food from all these countries right before. So I'll let the guys continue enjoying their meals. But actually, guys, take a quick break from the meals. Who do you think may be an upset from one of these matches?
What?
An upset. Upset it.
Oh, man. Come on, Croatia.